with the time that we've got, maybe you can unpack for us a little about how far you've come. I won't say, I'll allow you to say your age, but it might surprise people just your journey thus far to writing checks now, so to speak.
So I'm 25. I run Vancap here in Kenya. We're the largest investment fund in Kenya. And it started very simply. I went to university when I was 16 in Miami, dropped out a year later. Horrible drugs, alcohol, a nice combination of everything. And came to Kenya. And I had nothing. I tried applying to different jobs and all kinds of things. And every place said no. They didn't even say maybe or not reply. It was just flat out rejections. And I had this inflated idea of myself, and that was just torn to zero. So to get me off the alcohol and everything, my parents gave me the equivalent of about $150 and told me to figure out life for myself. And so I did. And that was the seed money that I had to live off of and to grow my business. And I started off in commodities and grew a tea exporting company to a fairly large size, and then got into insurance. And from there, it's just been one steady rise.
Fantastic. So I think we've got some fellow venture capitalists in the building, and certainly in the room here, people who consider themselves investors as well. So maybe you can talk a little bit about the structure of PSG Vancap and how you operate.
Yeah, so our fund is very different to pretty much anything else on the planet. When you pitch to us in one day, 24 hours later you get a yes or no whether we're taking your idea. It's a very fast process because our aim is to impact many lives. So when we first started, we were doing 180 unique businesses every single day, and that was a massive process. 3 months straight of that. Built up quite a massive portfolio, and you have to have huge staff to manage that, so we've scaled that down a bit. But basically our fund invests in ideas, so nothing that is already set up, basically what's inside your head, and we build a company around that. And that's what we do.
Alright, and so how big is the fund, and kind of how's that structured out between you and your partners?
Yeah, so we have 2 hedge fund partners in New York, which we're very lucky to have. And our fund right now is at $2 billion. By far one of the largest.
Did you just say $2 billion? Alright, $2 billion.
So by far for East Africa, we're the largest, and that gives us a lot of leverage to invest in people. And that's where we are.
Alright, now you just said something which I just want to unpack I want you to unpack for the audience a little. You said you invest in ideas, and you've also said you get back to people who pitch you ideas within 24 hours. Give us an example of what that cycle looks like when you're talking about ideas. How well formed are these ideas, and how quick do you get back? I mean, there's all these questions of due diligence and so on, and that's a $2 billion fund. That's not pocket change. So unpack that for us a bit.
Yeah. So basically, let's say you're pitching to me. You come, you give me your idea. We'll look at it in terms of everything. So a percentage depends on who you are. A percentage depends on your idea, the market that you're entering, and the amount of money it will take to get to self-sustainability. And we take all of these factors into account. And if you score above 70% based on those criteria, we say yes. So it's a very fast process. We're not in the business of just sitting around and thinking about things. We feel like if you're serious about investing in people, you should do it and not waste time in talking. So that's the idea behind the 24-hour period.
Fantastic. And maybe you can tell us, we had Teto earlier on stage, and so is this thinking that asks, do we have too many ideas and not enough capital, or are some of the ideas just not bold enough? What do you find with those that you have funded that are finding success? What part does ambition play? That you talked about Kenya. We are in Africa. We have startups here with that level of ambition. So talk us through that through the lens of your portfolio.
I think ambition is everything. When you're asking for $1.5 million and you've been surviving off $10,000 up till now, there's a huge gap in that. And I think flooding businesses or young ideas with so much cash is completely negative. You need to look at things very proactively and decide, this is where we can partner in. Try and streamline things as much as possible and not flood it with complications. And that's what we try to do.
All right. So tell us about your most successful company in your portfolio today. It's a technology company.
Yeah, it is.
Even though technology, you must consider it a realm that's new to you and the fund. So tell us about that.
I mean, it's the newest part to enter our fund. We're in 15 sectors in Kenya. But this is a brilliant idea. 2 kids were in a dorm room at the University of Nairobi, came up with this little device that they can plug into any public transport system, into radios. And that enables you to take over the radio. And through GPRS, you're able to send music and you're able to send advertisements through that system. And the guys on the bus cannot change the channel, they cannot switch it off, they cannot change the volume. And it's brilliant, we're able to advertise at 150 shillings, just about $2 a day advertisement, which is incredible. Very few companies can do that. And we've patented it globally, which is a very expensive process. But we're launching that in yellow cabs in New York very soon. So that's exciting. And that was an idea based in the University of Nairobi by 2 kids who were very poor, and that's brilliant.
Fantastic. So let's also take a look quickly at you funded thousands of ideas. Give us an idea of what it takes, how many you funded, and what it takes behind you to manage that kind of scale of ideas in quick turnaround.
It's a monster. I think we're going to hit around 24,000 unique ideas this year in Kenya. And when you're dealing with so many businesses, usually they tend to be very similar. So out of those 24,000, we will merge quite a few into one just to make life easier. But we have a massive team behind us, and it's 400 analysts who work pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make sure that all of these businesses are on track and growing. Because we believe within 3 to 6 months, if you are real about business and want to generate revenue, you can. If you want to sit around, talk and raise money, it takes a lot longer. But if you're true about the business and making money, I don't think it takes a very large amount of time.
All right. Now, one of the things that you're very particular about in terms of how you structure these deals, and certainly the companies in the portfolio that have quote unquote taken off, is this idea about scale.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what scale means to you and what that opportunity looks like for DSG Venture.
Yeah, well, I think scale is looking at your market. And I think you start with a very large market. And many ideas narrow that target market to a very small percentage. We like to look at the people who are below there, because that's where your real money is. As soon as you start narrowing it down to a tiny niche, you're looking at, you're really working, and you have to spend advertising dollars really to get those people interested. But when you're working with the majority of people, that's where we try to be. So we bridge that social economics gap very carefully, because we never take more than 40% of any idea that we partner with, and we finance it completely debt-free. So we're helping people who are underprivileged, as well as trying to target the large market and not a niche.
Fantastic. And so probably my last question is, we have 2 sets of, a number of different people in the room here. But in terms of an investor perhaps who wants to partner with you or use, are you looking for kind of partnerships or anything? You're not looking for?
We're very blessed because we don't need to take money from anyone. And I think that's a blessing to be in that position, because we don't need to raise money ourselves. We have 2 partners who are very deep pocketed, and we're lucky to have that. So we're literally just looking for ideas right now and seeing how we can scale growth and not worry about ourselves too much.
All right, so somebody here has an idea, and right now they're itching in their seat to tell it to you. How does it work? Break it down.
Website is right there. All the information is on there. You just write in an email, and within 24 hours you're actually paired up with an analyst. That person will listen to you, and 24 hours after that you'll get a yes or no. Within 2 days after emailing, you have a yes or no.
All right, and you fund ideas, so I don't have to have anything written down.
Nothing.
All I need
business
is
plans, none of that nonsense. It's just what's in there.
All right, and so you're focused on Kenya or looking to other markets as well?
Purely in Kenya. We want to have an impact in one country rather than the average in the world.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. A hand, please, for Eshad Da Silva.